What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to a live episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC, joined this week by Tommy.
Yo.
And we got Mike.
I'm Mike, and as Cesaro said, I love wrestling, and love always wins. Boom.
Nice.
That was nice. That was beautiful.
You found your new catchphrase, actually.
I have. That's it.
We're live today because all of us consistently finally have power, running water, internet. Tina and I ourselves are thankful that didn't impact us, but Mike and Tommy got quite the heavy hit of it with the snow and everything. As you can see through the window in the background, we got a lot of sunlight today, and everything's finally thawing out a bit. So,
yeah.
But this is cool.
I was at my parents' house for 2 days.
Yeah. And shout out to WrestleCaster. So you know that JC and Tina did offer for us to go over.
Mm-hmm.
They were very welcoming and accommodating. We did stay at our house because we had our dog, and it wasn't that bad for us, honestly. We got lucky. So, but thanks to them, and hope everyone's doing good out there.
Yeah, I think most of the powers are stored in the state. I'll look back on this and remember just how happy the kids were to see snow. Especially because my daughter got a frozen Olaf snowman set that we're like, because we're ever going to get snow in Texas, and lo and behold, we got to use it.
So you didn't put those on the pictures, like those were legit?
Like legit, my mother-in-law had bought it for her for Christmas, like a set to. She didn't realize you have to make a snowman, then you put him in so it looks like Olaf.
Right.
And we're like, that's never going to happen. And then we get two hits of snow,
and then lo and behold,
I honestly couldn't tell if you had photoshopped them or if it was real, but that's awesome.
That was him, So and
I was wondering that too, but I was like, whatever. The kids have fun. Who cares?
That started how it's going. That's kind of how it was. But kids had a blast twice because there's the first snowfall, and they enjoyed the week off from school. At least Adi did, and Tina did as well. So. But we're finally here. Gonna recap quickly NoSurrender, VengeanceDay, and then preview tomorrow's Elimination Chamber. If you're joining us on our live stream here on YouTube, feel free to comment with your thoughts on the shows, what your predictions are.
Hello, live stream people. Sure.
Our Twitter account, you can see at the very bottom of the screen, at @CCG_WrestleCast. And of course, while you're watching us, if this is your first time here on the channel, definitely give us a subscription. We do appreciate it. This is WrestleMania season, so we got a lot going on. We were actually planning to do a big WrestleMania preview this Saturday of WrestleMania, and I guess, lo and behold, this is kind of the dry run of that with just the three of us. But we're going to have hopefully a lot of special guests. We're going to send some invitations out and see who wants to join us just for a quick little preview before the two-night event. So we'll talk NoSurrender, we'll talk VengeanceDay, and we'll definitely talk Elimination Chamber. Now, a lot of us didn't get to see all of NoSurrender. Of course, it was Impact Plus with everything going on. It was a bit crazy, but some of the results are pretty interesting. I think what I've enjoyed a lot about these Impact Plus shows is that they are loaded cards. It ended up being 9 matches that night. I don't believe any titles changed hands.
No.
So everything stayed as it was. TJP still X Division. Fire and Flavor successful in their first title defense, even though it was a Texas Tornado no DQ match. You really want to have it in Nevaeh, I know. So
yes,
go ahead if you want to talk about it. So
I'm just saying, man. My alternate reality ex-wife she needed some gold, man. Come on, what's up here? So just saying.
Okay. The Good Brothers retained through a triple threat tag team match. With everything going on, but
real quick, speaking of that, I did read somewhere that some people are calling them beer guns. So
I like it. Yeah. We talked about some of those names. I'm down.
I just want that to be official because I just want that to be a thing. Beer guns.
And then what you do is you come out with those little air popper things, and like the Street Profits have the cups that come out, just like shoot beer. Oh, that's probably not safe.
Well, yeah, probably not right now with COVID and everything, right? So, yeah.
But James Storm would get it. But James Storm would try it though. That's the thing. So.
Now I want to say, did Finju show up at this show or was it on Tuesday on Impact? I'm trying to remember.
It was on Tuesday. They announced them at this show.
Announced them on this show.
Yeah.
Tommy, this is kind of a dream thing for all of us. We've been talking about how we want to get New Japan and Impact and AEW, maybe on some level Ring of Honor working together. We've been saying the companies should work together. You're the big New Japan guy.
Yep.
Your thoughts on seeing these guys show up on Impact Wrestling?
It absolutely proves that all is forgiven. Like, I think Don Callis and Scott D'Amore have spent the past couple of years saying, "Come on, that was Dixie and Vince. We didn't treat Okada like crap. They did. If we had Okada, he probably would have been main event literally the first month we had him." So I think it's great. I think the funny part is FinJuice is the right team to send over there because I think there are some fans who were starting to compare Finlay and Robinson to, Gallows and Anderson because, they were the, new hot gaijin tag team, the hot American tag team. So now we're going to get that match and let's see. It'll really cement it if they're the ones who dethrone Gallows and Anderson from the tag titles. Like if they win them, that'll really cement how big this deal is important. Like I think a lot of it is just like ego probably being set aside with a lot of companies, probably Impact had to admit, we screwed up with Okada and kind of a lot of other times we had Japanese talent here. And New Japan admitting like, okay, and we like money, so we'll work with other companies so we can get more subscribers on New Japan World. So because the funny part is, like, because even Jordan Grace pointed this out, the Impact YouTube and like their social media, they have more followers than like AEW, which is expected. They've been around longer, but hey, more followers is more followers.
I mean,
they have more social media presence. So.
Arguably, they have a bigger social media presence than WWE because anytime an event is around, their followers are crazy on social media. So,
well, this is because I don't know if I missed this one when Raven was world champion. Like when they lost their TV deal with Fox Sports, the one reason they made him champion was because he had such a big social media presence, and they weren't on TV at the time, so they figured more internet fans would be watching because Raven was champion, as opposed to not. That was one reason why he won. So they've been working the social media platform for a while now because that's how they survived. And initially, when they were doing just the weekly $10 pay-per-views, all they were only getting around through word of mouth. Through MySpace. My God, that feels like forever ago. And wow, MySpace was the only one, wasn't it? Jeez, that was literally the only thing that was out at that time. Oh my God, I said MySpace, and there was nothing to follow that.
Yeah. was LinkedIn up yet?
I guess.
No, LinkedIn wasn't even around yet because believe me, we would have gotten emails.
Mike, I've been wondering if we should call this the golden age of wrestling, just because, or maybe a dream thing. I don't know if there's a way to term it, but we've been wrestling fans for a long time. Did you ever think you'd see a day where these companies are all working together publicly?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know if we need to come up with a name for it yet, but I say just enjoy it because, like, you're right. Like I grew up and there was WWE, there was WCW, there was the last days of some of the territories. Like I remember being young and being able to see like AWA, World Class out of Dallas, which became global for a while. I remember seeing Florida Championship Wrestling, but it kind of really grew into WWE, WCW, and that was about it. And of course, you had ECW come along and have their little run that kind of influenced so much. But they did kind of work together. But, it was mainly WWE and ECW, and apparently there was a lot of, obviously, money things, too.
Right.
But to see what we have now, because I remember reading about New Japan and some of those companies and, AAA in Mexico, and, sometimes they would bring people in for little runs, but to the level of what we have now, where you have WWE being the juggernaut it is, but then you have AEW, with so much legit talent, and then you have New Japan, who's become, a power in its own right over the years, and then Impact, which is obviously in the born of the ashes of TNA, if you will, which TNA had a real successful run for a short time there, where they were really a legit second to WWE, and then we've
Hogan got
talked
involved,
about
yeah. So, yeah.
right. I'll say we've talked about what brought him down, but yeah, and then to see these companies working together, it's yeah. I mean, I don't know what we're gonna call it, but I say just enjoy it. If you like wrestling, there's so much to find, so many different niches that can be, fill the kind of things you like. So yeah, it's great. I mean, it's everywhere, and there's so much to enjoy.
I read one time. I read something that's called the Forbidden Door era.
Right, there was for a while, right? One question.
Yeah.
One question we got. How many hours to go? If you're talking about Chamber, we got less than 30 hours to go for that. And yeah, less than 30 hours before the last pay-per-view on network. We'll get to that. Now, Tommy, you mentioned Okada. I think some early rumors, some discussions already out there. Once COVID is over, there's a very good chance we see Okada in AEW and possibly Impact Wrestling again. Assuming Omega is still champion, or maybe Moxley, how big of a dream match would that be that AEW gets Okada versus one of those two? We assume that's who
so much.
We assume.
My fantasy booking is that he takes the AEW and the Impact World Title and just be both double champion.
We won't let him leave
and just be
we
like,
won't let him leave the States if that happens. I mean,
I mean, but if that happens, can you guys know you'll never drop kick the smile off my face, right? You'll literally have to like every 1 minute warning will just be me counting the days that Okada has been champion.
I was literally just going to say that his 1 minute warning from now on every week will just be, hey guys, remember?
No,
remember when?
When he passes away, it'll be on his tombstone. Hey, Okada won the Impact and the AEW World Title. That'll be on his tombstone. I'm guarantee you.
I'll call my family. Remember, grandchildren.
Yeah, so
Okada won.
It's like loving husband, son, boss, whatever, and always remember Okada won all the time.
And always remember, Okada was the greatest of all time.
I'd make sure to tell your wife to put that on there. So, regarding NoSurrender, just enjoy this. Hernandez, was good to see you get a win, even though it was tag team. I feel like Sean, good buddy of the show, but he's becoming the Impact Plus guy at this point, So, but it's kind of.
I feel like Sean doesn't care anymore. He just likes getting paid. I'm trying to get. He don't even give a damn.
I think he's always said he'll keep doing it if he's having fun, And on some level he's having fun. I think with this. The arm wrestling thing that he did with Rhino for a while was hilarious too. So
I was gonna say that Rhino thing was fun to me. I hope he was having fun because I was laughing so hard the whole time. So yeah.
If you missed NoSurrender, highly recommend getting Impact Plus. Impact is really starting to invest a lot more in their streaming service, as that has become the way of the future. Before it was really just $7.99 a month just for the library. Now they're starting to do live shows. It looks like once a month as well. Next for them, I think. Sacrifice. Are we going to get another Steiner Math promo? We'll see. We'll see if that goes the way of it. And if even if you don't get to watch it on Tuesdays, if you don't have Access TV, their Twitch channel is always free. They do have their Impact show Tuesdays live on their Twitch channel. Their Twitch channel is running 24/7. That's kind of like their pseudo network live stream.
Network.
Yeah, they always show a lot of classic matches, classic promos, things like that. Go check it out. Now, NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. We're finally getting to recap it. It seems like forever ago that this happened with what is going on this week. And I feel like this was a month ago. But with everything that has gone on here, with everything that happened Wednesday, this show, the final NXT TakeOver on WWE Network in its current form, did not disappoint.
No, it absolutely did not. Wow.
Now, I will say this. The majority of us did not think Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez were going to win the Women's Dusty Road Classic.
Yeah.
And Tina's the only one that picked it. And,
right.
They kind of told it through the commentators. Raquel's just been dominating everybody. And
it
was a hell of a match.
Now, I will say this. It was absolutely worth them winning, if for no other reason than the TakeOver, than the NXT Wednesday the following, when they were talking to Shayna and Nia Jax. And not only were they jaw-jacking, but MSK and Beth Phoenix standing in the background eating popcorn while this was happening. I was like, first of all, that needs to be a thing through every wrestling segment. I don't care what they're talking about because that's just funny. And then when Raquel Gonzalez made the whole joke, and then Wes fainted and hit the ground, I was like, okay, that's just good comedy. I don't care who you are.
Now, I believe as it's slated right now, Kai and Raquel get a shot at Nia and Shayna if they're still champion this Wednesday, correct?
I believe that's the case, yeah.
I don't know if I'm happy with that. I feel like they need to put this title match like on Fastlane or on a pay-per-view or some sort, you know? And I know that the tag team games are supposed to go to every show, but I don't know. I think this is a high-profile match enough that you could put this on a standard WWE pay-per-view.
And it just goes back to this weird WWE thing where like they switch the level they consider NXT depending on what they need. Mm-hmm. You know, we always go back to last year's, I guess 2020 Survivor Series when it was 3 brands and NXT's on the level with everyone else. You know, when we draft, they're going to be the 3rd brand, and then this past year they're like, no, not really, just kidding. It's NXT. So, I mean, the women's championship is the only thing that really connects them like that allows them to go be all three brands. But I agree with you. Like that definitely should be on a pay-per-view. I would even be cool to give prestige to the Dusty Classic itself to be like your shot is at WrestleMania versus whoever's the champ. Like you know, almost like a Rumble win. Mm-hmm. Like y'all got a women's title shot at WrestleMania. I know it's a couple months away, but whoever's champion, you're fighting them. Like I would almost prefer it like that, given what they're doing.
Not just the women's, but also the men's Dusty Classic too. I assume because MSK showed up and took that, beat the Grizzled Young Vets. I think this is the 2nd year in a row they've gotten to the final and couldn't finish it, if I'm not mistaken. I can't recall.
Were the Grizzly Young Vets in there too last year?
Yeah,
they might have been.
And so now the
I have the feeling that'll kind of be like they'll be like the tag team, you know. I hate to say this, but the tag team version of Goto, like always make it always the bridesmaid, never the bride, kind of thing, you know. So,
but that also leaves a good story for in the next couple of years if they do decide to let them finally go over in it.
Yeah,
to be like, you know, they kept in there and they kept getting there. Maybe a face turn out of them because they're pretty good heels right now. Like they're doing their jobs.
That's what you're trying to say, Mike. Triple H is booking Gato. That's what you mean. Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly because everyone copies New Japan.
I will never forgive you for that joke.
I kind of like the idea of the Dusty Classic winners being on WrestleMania, especially when you're doing 2 nights of WrestleMania and you're trying to fill 2 nights of wrestling. I mean, this takes up two matches. There it is, you know.
Yeah. The only problem with the guys is that you have 2 brand champions and they don't jump between brands. That's the only thing you have to deal with because, you know, even if the NXT women win the title, they can go beyond the 3 brands and they stay NXT. If you're an NXT men's team, it's almost like you're getting called up to one of the 2 brands if you win. So I don't mind it, but they'd kind of have to deal with that.
Well,
part
I mean, it's
the logic of it.
Why not put NXT tag team titles on the card itself too? You know, I mean, there's a potential, depending on what Edge decides, that we could have an NXT Championship match at WrestleMania, and fingers crossed, I hope it happens. You know, everyone was talking about him possibly challenging the Universal title winner. Hey, if he comes straight up, surprises us, and says, "I want Finn," let's do it. You know. But
I kind of want to do that just to I want to do that just to anger Roman Reigns more.
Yeah,
because it was like how dare you? I am the head of the table.
Yeah, but
not
he's
the guy who started the most
popular
in the last decade.
and just to rub it in, I want Adam Pearce then to go up to Reigns and be like, "All right, your title match is the second to last match of the evening."
They're gonna.
You're not the main event.
Pull the whole Lesnar thing. If we're not last, we're going.
Yeah,
first.
that's probably what's probably the
difference. I have this image of him telling him that, but then like in a cartoon way, the skies get cloudy and you hear thunder and lightning in the background, and he like has an army music video moment where he's walking in the rain, talking about how he. I'm sorry.
Arguably match of the night for me, I think this one stood out. Gargano Kushida. I think we all expected this to steal the show, and my God, it did. I think we did. We all pick. trying to remember who we all picked here.
I picked
I
Kushida. I
picked
know
Mike
that.
and Ty picked Kushida.
I picked Kushida.
Tina went Gargano. Gargano winning. But for a while,
Yeah.
it looked like, man, it's not looking good for Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were systematic with their beatdowns. Like I like that. You know, it was very systematic match, which is also why I still miss Kushida being in New Japan, because I know the series him and Takahashi had then was great. I just imagine how good they would both be now if they could have just toughing it out. Like they would. I absolutely believe if Kushida was still in New Japan, him and Takahashi would have been the main event for one of the nights of Wrestle Kingdom. Like, and there's no one who could convince me otherwise. But you know, I love that this platform is getting to show everyone how good Kushida is, because I was tired of defending him to people who didn't know who he was. Well, how good is he? I'm like, dude, he's freaking phenomenal. Oh my god, I'm sick of having this argument. He's one of the best in the world.
I honestly think if he hadn't gotten injured and been able to establish himself with some consistency, there may have been a different result. And I think that's the biggest thing, is he was injured, he was in the store, and then he was out for a little bit. So I think if they give him some time, maybe go on to some other matches, get some wins under his belt, and then he can come back and do this again. Because like I was saying when we were picking, Gargano is so strange to me in NXT now, because like I know he's one of their big guys, but like you don't know if they're going to use him to put people over, which is understandable at that point, or if he's just going to continue to win. So like I never know where they're going with these things, and that's probably good because it kind of keeps you guessing with him.
Yeah, I know they call him Johnny Takeover. Shawn Michaels was Mr. WrestleMania, but his win-loss record wasn't the best of WrestleMania. He just put on some outstanding shows.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
You kind of get that with Gargano. It's good to see him get a win here, and I really hope they keep the whole Johnny Takeover thing. Like he's bringing out the best in him. Now, one minor thing that people I think overlooked about this was that obviously he was coming out with the rest of his faction the way, and to have Austin Theory be kidnapped before they go out, and then him tell Candice LeRae and
Indy Hartwell,
go find him.
Yeah.
That was so much better than having a heel say, "I got this. Go back." Yeah. That was perfect. Like that's how you keep
I love
the
that.
character.
But
right, yeah, no, that was fun.
But on that note, can we talk about how funny that was? Because I died laughing when he's just walking up.
Yeah.
I loved it because Austin Theory trying to grab one of them to let them know what's happening.
That was so well done.
Yeah, it really was.
I was like, only in pro wrestling can you hire a known sociopath, watch the guy get kidnapped on television, and there are no charges the next day. None whatsoever. It's just all in good fun. Dexter kidnaps someone. He does that every other Tuesday. He just got started early this week. He's harmless.
Here's the thing. I hope that becomes a running gag. Anytime a big faction's coming out, like he'll randomly show up at Elimination Chamber if a faction's coming out and just kidnap one of them, so it sends everybody else in the back. Just to run that gag.
He's the guy who's wrestling the least, whose gimmick I probably love the most. All he's doing is staring honestly at the camera and drawing randomly and kidnapping people, and I'm like, yes, it's gimmick, but all the time.
All right, fly him out to the UK, and Imperium comes out, and I want him kidnapping one of. Maybe Walter? No.
Yeah, if he kidnaps Walter, he deserves a title shot.
He a towel for Walter. Yeah. And he would like to have to jump on his back and just wrap his both arms around his face for Walter. It still work. Okay, but before we go back to the wrestling, since we're talking about the comedy stuff, Cameron Grimes. That freaking music video, and I'm saying freaking because I hate how much I loved that video. I hate how much I love that song. I hate how much I love all of this. I literally am pissed at myself that I love this so much.
Okay, question in general in the character. Do you want him to keep being like Southern Appalachia country boy who gets a lot of money and so he's kind of like a Beverly Hillbillies type thing? Or do you want him to slowly start turning into like $1 million man where the money starts making him a little sophisticated? He starts trying to buy people. What do y'all think?
Okay, not necessarily sophisticated, but he'll do $1 million man Southern style, where he's trying to negotiate.
Okay.
Yeah,
that whole, you know,
I kind of think a hybrid
Okay,
of
kind of
both.
mix
yeah,
it. You're
kind of
okay.
mix it,
Yeah.
Give him something unique.
Oh, and real quick before I caught this on the commentary and I went back to rewatch because it was too funny. They made a Nexus joke like about the way and because like what did because Wade Barrett said I remember the little group let's say if you Nexus you're against us, and then Beth Phoenix with the burn of a lifetime said, "Wow, hope they do better than they did," and I was like, "Whoa, man, Beth, how do you really feel?" And then, of course, Wade Bear was cool about it because he even made this joke. Spell core again. Is it 2 R's or 1? And I was like, oh my god, someone else besides me remember the core even happened. Look, Wade Bear was there, and I'm convinced he forgot he was in the core.
I was gonna say, well, John Cena's not there, so the way should be safe. They're good.
Yeah. Good stuff though. Good stuff. Io Shirai,
True.
Successful defense. Whatever you throw at her, it seems like she's gonna win, which has me wondering with the news that Taya Valkyrie has officially signed with WWE and is slated to NXT. I have a feeling Taya is going to be thrown right into the title picture.
Tina's worst nightmare.
I know. Tina's.
I was gonna say that.
I couldn't tell you how pissed off she was seeing that news, but. For a triple threat, though, this was the shortest match of the night, though, only about 12 minutes long. And go ahead, Mike.
Well, the table spot. I mean, you got to talk about that. And I love some of the memes where it's like the table would just like to say that it doesn't normally happen, and Tony Storm is just very beautiful, but this is not usually something that happens. Oh man, that was just like you feel bad for them, but at the same time, it kind of makes a funny moment.
It makes a funny moment. It's almost like the tables are revolting. Like, I'm tired of people getting thrown on me. I'm just doing this now, you know. And I don't even know if that was Tony's fault. I think one of the announcers when he got up kicked the leg or something, and it just collapsed.
Probably, yeah. Like she was just blowing stuff up. I don't think it was her fault in any way, but the way it happened, and if y'all ever watch Botchamania, one of their biggest things is from Japan when tables don't break. So this is like the opposite of that when it breaks before you get started.
Yeah. But the tables in Japan are like we're not those weak American tables. We break when we say we break.
Yeah, they're real table. They just go to like Walmart and Home Depot and buy actual tables. None of these like pre-cut, set to break easy things.
Well, not only that,
Walmart and Home Depot.
The tables are
the farmers market get the ones that just handcrafted, built in the back of their house.
I'm convinced the tables have some bamboo in them in Japan, and that's why they don't break. Those suckers just don't.
Probably.
Break,
Probably.
But Io is just damn near looking unstoppable at this point. This was probably her toughest challenge. I know. I have a feeling though, Mercedes Martinez is going to be back up. Probably within the next year, making a serious title run. Now that she's trying to reestablish herself in NXT, now you just got to build a good character that's going to sell on TV. I know we're all familiar with Mercedes, but now you got to really sell something on NXT. So,
to me, I almost feel like they should have done with her what they did pretty much with Eddie Kingston. Is like kind of like let her get on the mic and just start beating people up at random, to get her. Not saying this is a great place to start her, but now let her start doing that. Start putting her on NXT TV more. They'll start beating up people, get on the mic and pretty much do it. Say what Eddie Kingston did. I've been doing this for this many years, because it's true for both of them. That's also happened both of them got signed. I mean, I would have preferred Mercedes go to AEW and that would have really bolstered their women's division a lot more, because it's Mercedes Martinez. She will bolster any women's division. She'll bolster any men's division. What am I talking about? There are men who need to watch her and be like their male wrestlers need to grab their other male wrestlers and be like, okay, watch her. No, just watch her. She's doing everything right, and shut up and watch her. So
she was too good for disruption. So.
Pretty much, right? Yeah. So.
They're real name. Anyway, but yeah. So I mean, you can build her up easy. There's no reason you can't.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. I can't think of. There's no one logical argument I can think of against Mercedes Martinez why you can't build your whole roster around her. Just like they're doing with Io, really. And before anyone says anything, you can't use the talking excuse. Io speaks probably 8 words of English, maybe. So
I mean,
that and her promos were still fire.
they did it well with Asuka too. They just let her throw, just speaking, yelling in Japanese, and not a lot of people are going to understand it on this side of the world. But still, she gets over. You still get the tones of what she's trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
And Japan's a bigger country than people think it is. So yeah.
And then of course Finn Balor defeating Pete Dunne. Very happy with that, just because it lines up Finn versus Edge at Mania. Come on, Edge, make the call. I want to see it.
That match was brutal, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for me, this was for a different reason than Kushida Gargano, but it was up there for me too. Like the back and forth, and then the constant, like, where Finn would have him in a move, and then he had his fingers, and he was like, "Oh crap, he's got my hand!"
Yeah.
Like they kept playing that up. It was some really good stuff from these two.
Any Pete Dunne match,
and
Jesus, I mean, So
every time Pete Dunne manages to grab somebody's fingers, it looks so legit, like to the point where you're actually like, wow. It's like whenever like Finn, things are going well for Finn. Oh crap, is that his hand? And so,
that's pretty much what it was at that one point. Yeah, that was so.
Shudder.
These two were brutal too.
Of course.
Yeah.
Now, of course, as the show closed, though, they was it Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch?
You mean the Avengers post-credits scene?
Yeah, okay.
NXT's new calling card. Well, not new, but
Yeah.
Let's do an attack on Finn while he's down. Here comes Undisputed Era to save the day, but then we see Adam Cole attacking Kyle O'Reilly. They kept it up on Wednesday. Adam Cole has tweeted that he's going to explain not just the why he's doing this on this coming Wednesday. So,
and then Pat McAfee just jumped. Pat McAfee might be the heel of the past couple of years, man. I don't know, dude. He every time he does something wrestling related, he wins me over all over again. I don't know, man.
I mean, if it wasn't for Dominic Mysterio, he's probably winning Rookie of the Year. But
he would have, dude.
It's.
I think if he had like we said, if he had wrestled more, it would have been a serious tough call as to who the real Rookie of the Year was last year.
Is this the right time to break up the Undisputed Era?
Yeah.
I think I will say yes, because what haven't they done? I mean, they finally got their definitive War Games victory as a team. And plus, I do miss seeing Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, dude. I miss that match. I miss those matches so much. They would nearly rip each other's heads off in ROH and PWG. So yeah, this gets us an O'Reilly Cole feud in NXT. As much as I love the UE, I'm absolutely for this. I really am.
Yeah, and I'm kind of along the same lines. I mean, they've done everything. They've been there for so long, and Kyle was starting to get a little bit of momentum, and fans were getting behind him after his series of matches with Finn Balor. And so Adam Cole's the perfect guy to play the heel, to give Kyle that boost into a face. And, probably a legit singles run, whatever comes of this feud with them. So I know y'all love them, and I do too, but yeah, I think it's a good idea with what they're doing.
Well, it was a slow burn of a breakup. So many times we see, let's reference it, the Iconics broken up too soon. I'm sorry, Mike. But how many times has WWE in the past broken up a faction, broken up a team because they want to start a singles and they just want to rush job it and it doesn't work out? And they kind of slow burn this one, had it made sense, gave them a huge run as a stable, so many accolades, and now you get that rift and Bobby Fish wasn't even there. You imagine when he comes back, he's going to side with Kyle O'Reilly on this because they're longtime tag team partners.
Yeah,
you would think so.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of Roderick Strong kind of being caught in the middle. I think that's pretty cool too, because he's been on both sides of their feuds throughout their careers, and he's had actually. I don't know if a lot of people have seen these, but the matches Roderick and Kyle had at PWG, fantastic. They had a guerrilla warfare match, which was probably one of the most brutal things I'd ever seen. Completely even untying the top rope and using it as a weapon. And it was just it's such a good match. And if that gets us more matches like that, then again, I'm down for this. But also, I love how we're pointing out how Adam Cole is like the perfect heel, and he can he's a great heel champion. He can get anybody over, especially. I remember when he was first starting off, he was such a baby face, and everyone said there's no way Adam Cole, can be a believable heel. He's just too much of a baby face, and he has proven that wrong for the past 9 years, as he's one of the best heels in all of professional wrestling.
It's just perfect setup for him. So
I love it. I love how he's taken this thing people said he couldn't do, and he was just just watch me, and he has taken it and just ran with it, and it's gotten him booked literally all over the world. I mean, whose career has gone better than his really in the past 10 years?
Yeah. All right. As for our pick results, Mike went 1-4, Tommy 2-3, Tina and I went 3-2. Yeah. So
thank you, Finn.
Yes, Finn is the one saving grace. Right?
Well, we touched on it briefly, but I messaged you because when we picked that time, the 2 men's matches hadn't been the qualifying for the Dusty Cup final, and we both, or several of us, or a few of us, picked Thatcher and
Ciampa.
Ciampa, and they lost in that semifinal. So I was like, well, 0-1 right off the bat before the show started.
Yeah, same with Tina because MSK qualified and she had picked Fantasma. Yeah, so.
And like I said, I knew there was less chance for some of the titles to change hands. I picked Kushida and I picked Tony Storm. I was just hoping to see that. But they were great matches nonetheless. Even with the card that wound up and the results. Just a great show all the way around.
Definitely. All right, on to our WrestleCast ratings for Vengeance Day. 0 to 5, 5 being WrestleMania 17, 0 being December to Dismember. Mike, we're going to start with you. What's your rating for NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day?
I think I'm going to go 4.6.
Okay.
I think it's a little better than a 4.5. Wasn't quite to what we usually give a 4.75, but again, solid all the way across. Not really bad matches. Even the shortest match was good. And then maybe that extra 0.1 for that ending for that post-credit scene of the two super kicks.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a great show. I know we say that about NXT all the time, and sometimes it's hard to judge when you're like, well, I gave that last one 4.75. Is it the same? Is it, But it's definitely up there.
Yeah, I love how we're talking about wrestling pay-per-views in the same vein we're talking about movies nowadays. Look at that post-credit scene. It's like wow, how did we get here? Is my question.
JC, real quick before I just when we were talking on the Geekcast the other night and y'all were rating stuff, I wanted so bad to throw in. Well, are y'all talking December to Dismember or WrestleMania 17?
Yeah,
but it's another world.
Movies, yeah. Ted's never done movie comparisons when he's done the movie ratings, and I'm always like, 5 is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and 0 is Super Mario Brothers. So it's kind of on that level from a geek movie standpoint, I'd say.
And for the record, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World was the perfect movie. We should make him watch December to Dismember, though. We really should make them watch December to Dismember.
The funny part is we mentioned that we've always wanted to do that. I was actually browsing through Tez's old practitioner library on YouTube, and you guys go check it out. He actually breaks down what was so wrong with December to Dismember in one episode. It's actually pretty in depth. Yes, yeah.
He did what we did not dare to do. What we did not have the stomach.
This was years before we even talked about doing that. But he actually broke down what went wrong. Everything. The build-up is so in depth. Rest in peace, Tez. Thank you.
Real quick.
Yeah, we miss you.
Real quick before we go on, one of my favorite YouTubers. He helps me. I watch him for a lot. He helps me with my writing. He did an in-depth analysis of what's wrong with The Last Airbender, the movie, not the show. The show's perfect. The movie, which is not. And the fact that this man went through that movie for us, he deserves more views. He put himself through that hell. We need to watch that video for this man. So
that's legend status just for all that, right? So yeah,
it is.
Tommy, what's your rating for Vengeance Day?
Okay, here's my rating, and I'm gonna explain why I'm giving it this. I'm giving it a 5.
Ooh, okay.
I'm giving it a 5, and the reason why I'm giving it a 5
out right now. You have it say it's as good as WrestleCast.
I am, and here's why I'm giving it a 5. I'm because I gotta be honest. I saw nothing wrong with this show whatsoever. I did not see one thing wrong with this show. Okay, so I love the matches. I love the even the small little bits of comedy, the shock twists at the end. I like to gauge shows like how much I enjoyed it and what I found. Maybe these aren't some of the matches I'll say were the greatest of all time. Some are like fantastic. They make and there were even some match of the year candidates. I'm judging the show based on like how they put it together, how it was done, how it flowed, and everything. And honestly, I just could not find anything wrong with this show. And when I knew we were doing this, I was like, okay, am I sure this is the rating? I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is my rating. I cannot think of anything about the show I didn't like. I can't think about anything that didn't work well. I mean, the table kind of thing was a little weird, but if I'm gonna knock out points for weird table spots, I literally have to take away points from my previous Wrestle Kingdom shows. But anyway, but no, man, I gotta give the show a 5. I mean, as far as like a textbook from bell to bell, opener to closer wrestling show that I think a lot of the shows should watch as far as like how to book a show, how to run a show, and how to conclude a show. This is what I would tell any company to watch. NXT, I think they pulled off without even any gimmick matches, which I love gimmick matches. Don't get me wrong, ladder matches, cage matches, all that stuff. Right. But without any of those, they still ran a flawless wrestling show. So with that in mind, I refuse to be a hypocrite, and I'm gonna give them a 5. All props to them.
This one was close to perfection. It was a 4.9 for me. It's hands down for me the best pay-per-view thus far this year. I know that's only like 4 we've talked about, but it was fun.
Look, it's more to take what we can get, damn it. Okay.
It was still fun. I mean, honestly, I'm just kicking in my head, man. Without having a live crowd, they have a semi-live crowd, but if they had a full stadium, how crazy they would have gone. How nuts would it have been with Adam Cole super kick and Kyle O'Reilly at the end there?
They might start throwing trash.
I mean,
if there was a full crowd.
Especially when you think that's a crowd that's like always there, that's kind of their usuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would have been in shock. That would have gone over so well had there been the usual live NXT crowd. It's coming up on a year since we've had live crowds in wrestling, like full live crowds in wrestling. And but still, a 4.9. Yep. I thought the women's match was just a little short for me. I think the 3 of them together, you could have gone 20 minutes. And honestly, I know this is way better than the Divas era ever got, but it bothers me a little bit that the women's triple threat goes the shortest runtime in the whole show, when there's so much they could have done. But that's just my personal opinion. For me, that was one of the more anticipated matches, but Gargano Kushida's tore it up. Balor Dunn was brutal. And the women's Dusty Rhodes Classic final definitely did not disappoint. That was a great way to end that first tournament for the ladies. It was really, really good. 4.9 for me. Overall rating for Vengeance Day is a 4.83. Pretty damn good.
Bringing down the curve.
Yep. But now it's on to NXT saying, well, this is our final send-off on the WWE Network, as it is. Now, hey, Chamber, follow that. A week later, here we go. I mean,
good luck.
Yeah. Now, this isn't the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania for WWE. This is, however, the last one on the WWE Network before they move off to the Peacock Network. You can make all the jokes you want with that are DX related. Go for it. If you have a fun one, throw it in the chat. That'll be fun. So the Chamber itself, this is an interesting card. This is actually better, I think, some of the recent Chamber cards that we've gotten. And right now, we know there's 5 matches on the card. Potential for a 6th because we don't know what's happening with one of them, and when we get to it, we'll talk about it. But right off the bat, I think we can all assume they're going to start with a Chamber match. And it's going to be a contenders match for the Universal Championship. Basically, the winner of this Chamber gets to start the Universal title later in the night. It's Jey Uso versus Kevin Owens versus Keith Corbin versus Sami Zayn versus Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan. I will note that Tina not able to join us because she's making sure the kids don't go crazy. She has picked Cesaro to win this one. Wants to see him get his shot at Roman Reigns later in the night. Mike, I assume that's where you're going here too.
Yes, with a little bit of a possible story thing they do.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to go for Cesaro because even if you watch SmackDown, they are giving him a lot of run. He got his new shirt that had like always and the heart like had a Cesaro name. He's getting talked up a lot by the announcers. He had a good showing in the match, and I know he didn't end up, on top, if you will, once everyone hits their move on somebody. But what I actually think is going to happen, I think he's going to win, and I think Reigns and Heyman are going to come down and demand that the match happen right then and there,
Okay.
just to continue kind of being heelish, being who they are. I think obviously Reigns will win, but I think just kind of looking long term and kind of what's happened on SmackDown, I think they may eventually set up Cesaro and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Given some of the stuff that's been going on and Cesaro's involvement, so I hope Cesaro's wins. I think that'll be a big win for him. Then I think Reigns will come down and make the match immediate. Cesaro will have a good showing. Reigns either beats him clean, obviously after he's tired, or maybe a low blow. But I think Cesaro will come out of this looking good, regardless. It seems to be where they're going.
So you're kind of going with the pseudo Edge cash in a way.
In a way, like a version of that, yeah.
Now,
or like that time when John Cena won in the Chamber, and
well, that's what he's talking
that's what
about.
I'm talking about, like Edge's very first cash in, the idea, but it's kind of in reverse.
Yeah.
Oh no,
right.
Oh, no, they did it with Batista too, though. Like they did that with Batista too that one year.
Was it after a
I
Chamber
don't remember.
match?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Vince just called for Batista to come challenge John Cena.
Oh wow.
I don't know why.
I think everybody
but
remembers
yeah.
the Edge one because it was the first time they did it.
Yeah, because it was the first one.
Now, if they do the match later on in the night, do you think there's a chance Cesaro wins?
No.
Okay.
I mean, so if it happens later in the night, I think there's a lot more likelihood of Reigns cheating to get the win. Because in his matches with Kevin Owens, he's shown vulnerability. And he's had to low blow and use nefarious means to finish him off.
Mm-hmm.
So if they do wind up doing it later in the night, I still think Reigns wins, but I think it makes it more because I think you make Cesaro look a little bit stronger by he had to cheat to win. And then, like I said, I think given what they're doing, I don't think Cesaro will be necessarily involved in the title match at WrestleMania, but they've laid some seeds with him and Seth Rollins. So I think they may have a big match leading to Mania. So
okay. Tommy, where are you going with this Chamber match?
I'm also picking Cesaro, and I think Reigns will win later.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do disagree on one thing about WrestleMania. In my head, I somehow see it being Roman, Cesaro, and Seth. Basically, Seth, props himself up to get a title shot, but then Cesaro will be like, "Well, yeah, but you weren't even in the chamber." Well, or was he? He is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and basically and I almost beat him, and they'll go back and forth, and then Cesaro can be like, basically like the time Daniel Bryan and at WrestleMania 20 won it, and the guys that no one is talking about, but he ends up winning. Yeah, Daniel Bryan.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but I thought you were putting Daniel Bryan and that other person at the same time, and I was like, wait, what? Two different examples of the same thing. I got you.
Yeah, from WrestleMania 20 and WrestleMania 30.
Right,
so, yeah.
right, gotcha. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
JC,
I see.
there's someone behind you. Hi.
What's up? Live TV.
She picks Bailey, and Bailey's not even in a match. I'm just telling you right now.
Okay.
Just thinking.
Go over there. Okay.
She's like, I don't know what the matches are, but Bailey's winning. That's all she says.
And in her defense, I do the same thing with Okada most of the time. And he's like,
the funny part is, like, my other cat made a cameo, and then here she comes. So
I saw.
Yeah. Somehow my cat opened the door. Okay, there's a couple ways to go with this. Obviously, I hope Cesaro wins, but I kind of don't. And here's why. Before, when we've had the whole what sparked Kofi's run at the title a couple years ago was the fact that he was in the chamber and he didn't win. And then the fans got behind that and made it organic. And I think what WWE is trying to do is spark a sort of organic fan push in a way for the fans to get behind Cesaro on social media and boost him to want to get the title shot. So I don't. Go ahead.
Oh,
yeah. So my thought is like.
I was gonna say I really agree with you.
Yeah, they're trying to control. They're trying to say, yeah, this is our idea all along. So we're going to book it this way, so the fans get behind Cesaro and kind of screw him over, right? So obviously, with Roman being a heel, you would think, okay, who are the heels in this match? Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, Kevin, or the faces in this match: Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, and Kevin Owens. You would think one of them three is going to get the shot and kind of get screwed over. So I'm going to pick Daniel Bryan to get his shot. And he'll lose later in the night. So I think we're all in agreement Roman Reigns is going to win. But I think the way it's going to happen, I think what's going to happen is some issue where like Cesaro takes out everybody, hits a finisher, and then you get King Corbin rolling him up or something and puts a lot of heat on Corbin. Daniel Bryan beats Corbin to win the chamber. But the fans, the idea is that WWE is banking on the fans to go nuts on social media for Cesaro to get a title shot. And that's what they're going to build up. Not necessarily at Fastlane, but it's going to be the Kofi thing. You got to earn your shot. You got to grab the brass ring comment, that Vince made years ago, and he's going to earn his shot at Fastlane, provided Edge doesn't want to take on Roman Reigns, and that's how you get Cesaro and Roman Reigns. Because I don't know, in my head I'm thinking Kofi all over again. Kofi didn't win that chamber to get his title shot. He had to earn it a different way. Right. So
I love it. I want it. The only thing is I keep hearing that it seems like it wants to be Reigns and Edge. That's the only thing that's the only reason.
Damn it, no, I want Edge and Balor. God damn it, I mean.
No, I agree. I wouldn't mind those things either.
So,
but there's that, and then they planted the little seeds of Seth and Cesaro. That's why I thought what I did. But I want, like what you said, I'm 100% for that. So
maybe you get Seth and Cesaro at Fastlane with the title shot on the line somehow. Maybe that's possible.
That'd be interesting.
Some sort of like.
I laugh because it's like they want this. We want an organic build around Cesaro. Yeah, we did that 5 years ago, and y'all did nothing with it. So.
And then what kind of doesn't help either is there's not real fans up until WrestleMania. So WWE could kind of produce, like you said, if they really wanted it, the fan support behind Cesaro, which kind of sucks. But
and even with the Thunderdome thing, you can tell they're still piping in crowd noise. I mean, I heard it a lot on SmackDown last night. It's annoying.
Oh yeah.
This is where social media, guys, if you're watching this, if you really, the hashtags, everything, and WWE may get behind it with Cesaro because he did just re-sign his contract. And maybe
funny you mentioned hashtag. That's going to be part of my 7-minute warning.
I have a feeling that's I know what's coming for you, so I'm just kind of building it up here. So now on to the United States Championship, a triple threat. Lashley defending against Keith Lee and Riddle. Tina's picking Keith Lee. She can't stand Riddle, but she wants to see a title change here. I know there's reports coming out right now that Vince isn't sold on Keith Lee being a top guy or somebody worth pushing right now. Of course, they said he was sent back for some more training at some level, and I don't know if it's just the body type. He wants a more muscular thing. Right now, and then with Riddle, it's kind of up in the air. I think Lashley's going to retain the title right now. It's just going to be another thing for the Hurt Business, and maybe that's something that they wait on for WrestleMania to do as some sort of title change. But I've got Lashley winning this one. Mike, who do you have winning this one?
I do too, but if what I've heard or read was correct, apparently MVP got injured at the last Raw show, and actually may need surgery. So, given the storyline they were doing, and I had heard this before before last Monday, that Lashley actually wants Keith Lee in the Hurt Business. So I'm kind of wondering if Lashley wins, but with MVP out, kind of takes over like the I'm in charge role, and then they do a storyline of him trying to get Keith Lee into the Hurt Business in a very similar way to what they kind of did originally with. No, Cedric was a little bit different. I'm thinking differently.
Maybe Roderick Strong.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of the way Disruption did it. But But yeah, I think there may be something there. Now, whether he goes or not, I'm not 100% sure. But I think they're going to continue the story with Lashley and Keith Lee along those lines. That's my thought.
Okay. Tommy, what about you on this one?
I'm going Lashley. I think they want to save like him losing for like a bigger story. As far as the MVP thing, I have not heard. Basically conflicting reports that he may need surgery, that he might not. That I think he was just getting it scoped out to see how bad it was. If he just needed to just take it easy for a minute. Dude's been going for. I mean, just because he wasn't WWE doesn't mean he wasn't doing anything. So, and as far as getting Keith Lee in the Hurt Business, we'll see. I mean, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But I had an HNIC flashback from RCW.
We've seen this story before. Yes.
And could he come out with the comb and the brush? I mean, because I'd be down for that.
He could. Will he? I can't say. He could.
I mean, Hurt Business comes out in suits a lot. They're all suave and.
For those watching that don't know what we're talking about, think back to RCW a while back. Keith Lee was a part of it locally here. And the HNIC, Jerome Daniels, Big Dog, Wheezy Woo. Oh my God, we had fun with the signs with that faction, didn't we?
Oh man,
it was entertaining. I'll say that.
We admit to nothing.
I don't know how RCW stayed in promotion after we got through with that whole gimmick. I really don't.
I mean, they're the ones that came up with the coalition of Caucasian Knights. So.
Yes.
This is true.
This is
true.
And this is kind of after that, but I did almost get Jerome Daniels to break with the
I
sign.
wonder if Brandon Oliver ever looks back on all that stuff he booked and just like, wow, I was in a weird place in my life when I came up with all that.
I will note that one of the signs I made, Jerome Daniels saw it. He almost broke. Didn't admit, when he came out, he's supposed to be all heel, and I almost got him to break. And I'll take pride in that I got him to smile and want to laugh.
I mean, JC, there was a stretch at the beginning when we would go to shows where I'm pretty sure you offended or broke several people, both wrestlers and non-wrestlers alike. So take that for what it's worth.
Hashtag single life.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people do RCW over stuff you did, and Brandon was just like, man, I'm not sure what that man brings. I ain't got nothing to do with it.
It is nothing compared to
what Joe Reinigle, how you doing?
Nothing compared to what I did Joe Reinigle, but even Joe Reinigle had a good laugh about
that was the master.
All right, Women's Tag Team Championship. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler against Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. I have a feeling this might be the replacement. We'll talk about it when we get to the next match, but Tina's picking Nia and Shayna. I am as well. I think what they're really starting to set up is Sasha versus Bianca at Mania. They're really starting to tease that, and there's going to be a little rift with them. And Nia and Shayna may actually have a successful title defense on a pay-per-view for once. So I'm going with them to win. Tommy, what about you?
Yeah. I'll pick Nia and Shayna. Just because I think that for one, I honestly do like Sasha and Bianca as a tag team. They actually are very entertaining. They work well together. But I think to me it's like one of the cases of good friends, better enemies. It's like, in a lot of tag teams, they won't really work together as tag teams. As enemies, they're fantastic. Kevin Steen, El Generico. And I think, and honestly, I just have this feeling that Nia and Shayna are actually going to lose to Raquel and Dakota. I have that feeling. So that's what I'm thinking might happen. So yeah, I'm going Nia and Shayna for this one.
Mike, same for you. Make it a clean sweep.
Yeah, I'm going to finish it off. But also, my reason for it is because I do not want to see the champion and the person going after their belt winning tag titles because they're going to face each other, but they're all like, it's been done so often. It's been done recently. Like that may be one of the storylines they go to more than any of the stories that they recycle over and over. And I just don't want it here.
Yeah.
Like, I laughed. I knew that's exactly where you were going with that before you even started.
Let Sasha and Bianca have Sasha's the boss, the champ. Bianca's the hot new star on the rise who's ready to take over the division. Let that be the story if that's going to be the WrestleMania match. I do not want we won the tag team titles, but we're going to face I'm just done with that story for now. Like that needs to go into let's not use this for 5 more years and give it a break.
At least.
Yeah.
All right. Now Raw Women's Championship. We don't know if this match is going to happen at all. Obviously, we know that Asuka was originally
Yeah.
booked to take on Lacey Evans, and they ran a story, but it actually is a true thing. Not necessarily who impregnated her, but
Are we?
no. But so obviously, Lacey Evans was in the middle of a feud with Charlotte, with Ric Flair being involved, and they basically Lacey Evans announcing she's pregnant. On WWE TV, they're making it seem like Rick's the father, which in reality wouldn't really surprise Rick still getting women pregnant. It's Ric Flair for crying out loud.
I was like, they said that as a joke, but is it that funny? Because it could actually be the case.
But Lacey Evans is pregnant. Congratulations to her on, I think this is her second or third child. I can't remember. I think it's second, right?
I think second at least.
Yeah.
She has a daughter,
Yeah,
right?
she has a daughter. So
at least
Her daughter. I think it's
she's
second.
pregnant. Is obviously going to be.
It might be
going to be
second.
taking some time off. I don't know if it's a good taste to use Ric Flair as a storyline, but hey, what are you going to do? In 9-10 months, a year, people might have forgotten about that. We'll see. We don't forget, but who knows? So obviously, this kind of is up in the air. I don't know if this match is going to happen. We're going to pick, assuming that it does. It's either Asuka or some random person that they bring in. Tina has. Here's how she made her pick. She said if it's not Charlotte, she's picking Asuka. If it's Charlotte, she just picked Charlotte. I'm kind of with her on that. So,
I see somebody who watches WWE TV.
Yeah. Let's be honest. It would not surprise me if they put Charlotte in the title picture all of a sudden and she wins.
All of a sudden, when was she not in the
I'm just saying, this falls into place. Tommy's laughing because it's true.
Oh man.
Okay. Show of hands. Are you going to follow Tina's logic here and pick Asuka if it's not Charlotte and Charlotte if it is Charlotte?
Honestly, I'm going to go out and limb and say whoever replaces her wins the title.
Regardless of
again, yes. I'm just going to go out and say it because, again, they haven't been giving Asuka her props for a while. I honestly thought if she wasn't going to be pregnant that Lacey was going to win this to set up Lacey and Charlotte because that seemed, the match they wanted, and I assumed they'd give the title so Charlotte could win it at Mania because, I know a lot of people criticize Charlotte, and again, I don't, like we always say, I don't know her personally. I have no personal feelings against the actual person, Charlotte Flair. I think that's not her full name, but obviously when we talk about storyline, like she's becoming that Roman Reigns of several years ago, where she's just always in the picture whether you want it or not. So I think they're going to take it off Asuka because they haven't been doing well with Asuka. They haven't. I mean, has Bianca been back to Raw to interact with Asuka? I didn't watch Raw obviously this past Monday.
No, I don't think she has. No.
So I'm just going to go on a limb and Tina's logic makes more sense, but I just don't have faith in the way they've been treating with Asuka. So
okay,
I do think there's a new argument you can make from now on about people who get overbooked with titles. If they're not putting Okada in the title scene right now in New Japan, then there is no excuse for them to do it with anyone else repeatedly. If Okada can be out of the IWGP heavyweight title scene, then the rest of them don't need to be in any.
Yeah.
and let me just say one more thing. One of Ric Flair's biggest accomplishments is, he's the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion. That guy has been wrestling since the late 70s.
Yeah.
Charlotte started in like the 2010s and is already like a 13-time women's
Sasha
champion.
Couldn't defend her title. That's why.
and again, and I know it's a different era of wrestling, but you didn't need to have her match her dad in her first 2 years. Like,
yeah, seriously.
I mean, again, it's
No.
and I don't want to like crap on her personally. I don't know her. It's just WWE. Like, I get using her, but use her in different things that help people too.
Yeah.
It just doesn't always have to be her winning and kind of the star. But that's just me.
Now, here's Sheldon. Assuming Charlotte is the one that comes in and takes the title, does Bianca Belair challenge Charlotte instead of Sasha at Mania? Yes or no? Real quick.
Please God, no. I want Bianca.
Okay. All right. Now, Universal Championship, we kind of already picked that. We all think Roman Reigns is going to come out the champion anyway at the end, no matter what, whether it's right after the Chamber or not. Now, the other chamber match on the night is for the WWE Championship. Probably Drew McIntyre's toughest test against 5 other former world champions. Drew McIntyre is going defending against AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Kofi Kingston. It was difficult for Tina to do, but she picked Drew McIntyre, regardless of the fact that AJ Styles and Randy Orton are in this match. I was actually very surprised by that. She's going with Drew. This is probably the hardest one to pick because I don't know if Drew's going to retain through this. So, Tommy, you're going to pick it first. Dang
it!
Go ahead, Tommy.
I'm going to pick Drew.
Okay.
I'm going to pick Drew. I think he might carry it into WrestleMania, and depending on what happens, who he's facing there, that's when he'll lose it.
Okay. Mike, what about you?
You know what? I went 1-4 at Vengeance Day, and I went out on a limb on a lot of picks, and no reason to stop doing that now. I'm going to go AJ Styles. He's AJ Styles. I think him as a heel champ with Osmos or whatever that guy's name is behind him.
Osmo.
Would be Osmo.
I'll call him
Osmo used to wear
Osmo
those
from
shirts.
South Park. Yeah, but go ahead.
Oh, I was like, I used to wear Osmo shirts.
Yeah.
But him as champ with that guy at WrestleMania would be a great match for someone else to come up, even if it's a Drew McIntyre,
Rematch.
Going back after the title, or someone else kind of stepping up into that position. Another Kofi run or something. I think Randy's going to be again distracted by Alexa and some voodoo whatever. Ooh, the Fiend, it's all coming type stuff. Right. But I think it's and I like Drew, and he's had the most unfortunate luck of winning the title and trying to become the man with no fans. And I think he stays at the top near the title picture. But I think they might do that so that you have another heel champion at WrestleMania. Because if Drew's the face champ to me when you go to WrestleMania, I guess you could have a heel beat him for the title, but it seems less likely
heel before you get there. But I don't know if that would happen. So
Well, yeah, but they're trying to make him. They're also trying to make him like that face.
Yeah.
Cena or Cena Reigns type. So.
Mike, we've been best friends for a long time, and so it's amazing how we think alike sometimes. Yeah, I saw this and I said AJ Styles because I don't believe he's even even won a chamber since he got to WWE. You feel like
probably not.
You feel like he's trying to collect every accolade he can, and this is another one. And he's got that. Let's call him Osmo or Osmosis, whatever you want to call him. He's on the outside.
Osmosis Joe.
I have a weird feeling he's gonna find a way to sneak into the chamber and help AJ win. There's not
sneak in. They'll probably do one of those things where he just rips off
to the chamber. That's
so I got AJ Styles he's going into WrestleMania as champion, for sure. So
is it cage behind the pods or is it plexiglass all around? I'm trying to remember.
Let me see. I got the picture here.
It used to be cage behind the pods, but I think they changed it to plexiglass recently.
Because they're square now.
Behind the pods is square and it's plexiglass, but it's a cage around everything else or the chain link fence thing. But
yeah, no, because I was thinking that he would just reach through the chain behind one of the pods and take someone out from behind. Yeah.
Or he could just grab their foot when they're close to the chain link and just pull them down.
All right, so that is our preview of the chamber. The last one on WWE Network as it stands right now.
Yeah.
And
real quick, I do have to laugh about the part where because the sentence of when you guys I want to pick AJ Styles because, and I was actually thinking you can just stop it. It's AJ Styles.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I'm picking AJ Styles because it's AJ Styles. Why wouldn't I? So
you're right.
He hasn't done yet. So, all right, now we're gonna move into our segment called the 1 minute warning.
Okay, JC, since we're live and it's not almost 11:30 at night, can we agree to let him go a little longer than 1 minute today?
I was going to give it. Okay.
Because I know Tommy mentioned that, and I don't mind going a little bit longer. So, oh my God, what happened? JC, your screen's on the live.
Yeah, I know. I shared it because I got the countdown clock there. So.
Oh, okay.
I gotta move some.
Black voodoo magic. Sorry.
I got to move some names around here to do it, but it's fine. I'll leave it as it is right now. So, all right, Mike.
Whoa, I'm a timer.
Yeah, Mike, you going first here?
Actually, I'm JC.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Ready, set, and go.
Okay, since I have a little bit more than a minute, I'm going to go away.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's
I'm
up?
leaving the time
Okay, that's fine.
for you.
I'm going to go away from the world of wrestling to start this, and I'm going to come back to my point in wrestling. So, as JC knows, and Tommy kind of knows, I was not the biggest fan of the entire DCEU movie universe. And one of the biggest reasons is because I got beat down with hashtag release the Snyderverse. I didn't hate the movies. I just, there were a lot of things I didn't like about them. I didn't connect, whatever. But that hashtag clearly was very powerful. A lot of fans got behind it. They got the movie made, and it made some changes. It took things, and whatever you want to say, helped or didn't help or changed things. They got this movie made, and those of you who are looking forward to it, in about a month you get to see it, and I'm happy for you guys. I really am. So where I want to come to wrestling is there were a lot of things, especially over this last year, that I have not been a fan of that WWE has done. And one of the biggest ones was breaking up the Iconics. Okay? They are and have been an amazing tag team. Both of them, I mean, Billie Kay has kind of found a comedic presence on SmackDown, and she's just great in what she does. And Peyton Royce, kind of was trying to find herself and then got thrown in another tag team. And then once Lacey went off with this thing with Charlotte and Nature Boy, she's kind of lost again. They're great together, and they've even said in interviews that they're not the same without each other. Like, it's been really weird for them to get used to it. So I introduce to you hashtag ReUniteTheIconics. We are going to start this. It's a worldwide revolution. Hashtag ReUniteTheIconics. Everybody share it. Share it. Go to WWE, tweet them, and reunite the Iconics. They are the group that needs to come back together. They are great individuals, but together they are amazing. They are funny. I literally go to YouTube every now and then and just look up their highlights from backstage interviews and skits, because they are just the greatest thing ever. And I need, hey Kayla, and you got to be joking me. I need that back in my life, especially after this week. So I'm sure JC will put it up here somewhere. Hashtag reunite.
I'll have it when I add the description to this afterward. But yeah, we will have it for sure, definitely. So
we need to go ahead and put that on the WrestleCast Twitter. Just go ahead and get this thing jumped off. Let's do it.
That will be going on as well. So
yeah, that's my formula.
All right, I gave you 2, so we'll do it that way.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Tommy, I'll give you 2 minutes as well. You ready to go?
Yep.
All right, ready, set, and go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, I am the Japan guy of this group, so therefore I'm going to be talking about, first of all, pro wrestling. No, I am the Japan guy. And let's give a shout out to Keiji Muto, who on February 12th won the GHC Heavyweight Championship. He actually beat Go Shiozaki. Some people do not like this for a variety of reasons, most of them being Muto's age. But I'm thinking it's about to be his last run. He's probably going to hang it up after this and let him have it. He'll probably lose it to Kaito. But the biggest thing is, and this will tie into to us guys, is Castle Attack, which is New Japan's next big show for 2 days. And the main event of day 2 is going to be Kota Ibushi and Naito, but it's only for the IWGP Intercontinental title.
Okay.
Apparently, Naito has gone on record as saying, I am against unifying these belts. And he's doing everything he can to stop Ibushi from doing it. There's a lot of other matches happening. The United Empire is still trying to make their comeback after their losses at Wrestle Kingdom. And also, one of the biggest things I want to talk about is Stardom. The all-female promotion in Japan is doing something big. They're going to the Nippon Budokan in Japan, which is a huge stadium for I think it's their first time there ever. It's their 10th anniversary show, and it's going to be a big one. Julia is facing Tam Nakano, and they're actually both of them are putting their hair on the line for the belt, Whoever loses has to shave their head.
Wow.
Yeah. So the next like couple of months in Japan is going to be huge, and I'm just going to say this now because I could talk about this forever. I'm going to go into depth with all these things on my channel pretty soon. I may or may not do a live. I'm debating that because I might do it either today or tomorrow. So if anyone wants to come check that out, follow me on my social media, on my Twitter and everything, and check out my YouTube because I will be discussing all this there in full detail and giving you all of my thoughts. Since I don't want to take up too much time here on the WrestleCast, but thank you all so much, and it's going to be a great time for Japanese wrestling. Thank God wrestling survived the pandemic. I'm just happy wrestling survived the pandemic.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, with everything going on with New Japan making appearances at other promotions in the U.S., there's a lot more to come. So, you know.
Oh, there's one thing I forgot to mention, JC, and this will make you happy.
What's that?
Oriana will defend the KOPW trophy against Chase Owens, and it's going to be a strap match of some kind. But you know, I think that's just going to no matter what it is, it's going to make you happy. I guarantee.
Let me correct you. Toriano will successfully defend the King of Pro Wrestling title.
I don't know what makes me so happy about the fact that your favorite New Japan wrestler is Toriano. I don't know why
I just
that
love
makes
it.
me
Such
so
a
happy.
troll job. It's so great that this guy is the king of pro wrestling in Japan, and I hope it's 2 years in a row. So yeah, keep that provisional. Otherwise,
I honestly think they book him that way just to piss off some wrestling fans who don't like him. I think that's the only reason. I think Gato does it on purpose. It's like the internet will go so mad if you win.
Oh God, yeah. Have you ever listened to Tiger Driver Radio podcast? There's some local guys here. They talk New Japan a lot. Oh my God, they hate Toriano, and I just love it. But how 2020 is it that he was the king of pro wrestling in 2020? I mean, it's just appropriate, you know. So. All right, now I don't plan to take more than a minute, but I'm just going to go with this right now. This is the final WWE Network pay-per-view, or the network pay-per-view on the network as it is right now. I was one of the first people to sign up, literally 5 minutes before it officially launched. I remember loading it on my PS3, seeing the welcome message from Vince McMahon when the network launched. It was pretty awesome. I went in late to work that day just because I wanted to see it launch and make sure I signed up. And why I'm very happy this is going to Peacock Network, though, is the fact that the Roku app sucks now for WWE Network. Because ever since they got away from the assistance they got from Major League Baseball doing it and changed the entire design of the app and how it's coded, mine is constantly disconnecting during the live feeds. It's not very stable, and it sucks that I'm constantly getting messages pop up, lose the connection and it's back, lose the connection, it's back, and sometimes I have to restart the stream all over again. So thank you for selling this to Peacock Network, and by God, Peacock Network has a great app. I hope they keep it stable so that my streams are not interrupted. That being said, thank you WWE Network for all the memories for getting this started, because if it wasn't for WWE Network, the streaming service revolution probably never would have kicked off the way it has. They did it first.
Yeah, because all we really had before that was like Netflix and Hulu, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So,
One quick piece of news. This is going to happen in May. Kyoko Kimura, Hana Kimura's mother, is going to put on a benefit show. Like I think to donate to some charities, I think. And just a memorial. It's just a memorial show. So like you know, still keeping the memory of Hana Kimura alive.
Very cool. Very cool.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, she would. Man, God, I miss her. She kill it in this era right now, man.
Oh yeah, especially with the talent show right now, you know, we'd see her in AEW for sure, and it'd be amazing.
Oh man, I think she would have been the first one Kenny Omega would have got over there if he could have, you know. And props to him because I know he wore one of her shirts on Dynamite once, so props to Kenny.
All right, WWE Elimination Chamber this Sunday, tomorrow, February 21st, 6 p.m. Central Time. I know, Mike, they can't see. I got a graphic over it.
I know.
Kickoff is at 5 o'clock, we think.
Somewhere.
Yeah. It's from Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. The last show on the WWE Network. Fastlane next month will be the first on the Peacock Network. I should mention WWE Network in the United States. If you're international, it'll still be WWE Network over there. I know there's some countries where they actually do have a live TV cable channel, which WWE Network's feed, which is pretty damn cool. So, yeah. So for this in the United States, enjoy it. Network has been great. For the next 5 years, it'll be on Peacock TV, unless NBC pays a lot more money to keep that going. So,
The Peacock or the Peacock Network. Okay, I had to make that joke once.
Our
Okay,
Twitter
I'm
account,
pumped
you
now.
see at the bottom of the screen at ccg_WrestleCast. Subscribe here if you're watching on the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel. If you're catching this afterward, feel free to leave a comment with your match predictions or tweet at us and let you know what your thoughts are on the show. Because next week, hopefully back to normal on Tuesday, as I think everything is starting to power up and everything. We will record our normal episode, hopefully release on Wednesday, but we'll recap the Elimination Chamber.
Barring Galactus showing up in the sky,
Right.
which at this point I would
Exactly.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah, so we'll recap the Chamber. In the coming weeks, we'll also talk AEW Revolution, which is stacking up to be a great card on my 40th birthday, mind you. I'm turning 40, and AEW Revolution is happening, and it's crazy. So I feel old. Yeah. I'm so old, I actually remember when it snowed in 85, and there was 10 inches of snow. It's one of my earliest memories. So
Me too.
Yeah.
And I mean, to throw that out there, I remember the power being on the whole time. I know I was young, but
I just remember getting on some cardboard, sliding down a hill of snow, and but that was insane. Living in apartments at the time, so, and my parents' black Volkswagen Beetle being covered in white snow, which is crazy. So we'll be talking about that next week or pretty soon. Let us know your thoughts on it and everything. And guys, it was great to see everybody again. I'm glad everybody is safe.
Yeah.
I know Sheldon is making
definitely.
his first appearance on the show. He didn't knock anything over, but he's basically letting me know that he is hungry. It is his lunchtime, so I'll be taking care of that momentarily.
maybe he wanted to tell you you're sitting in a spot.
Maybe. He never gets on the desk. So this is actually a first for him. He's looking annoyed. He sees his ears back and everything. Special thanks to him for making a cameo, and my daughter, Super Audie. This is pretty funny. Live show, right? So thank you again, everybody, for watching. We do appreciate it. Over here, we got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other, especially after this week. Thanks to everyone who's helped with each other, and if you need help, man, reach out to people.
Yep.
There's things for y'all. I know y'all are going through a lot, given this past week. So
Over here, we got Tommy.
Thanks, guys. Be safe and take care.
And I'm JC. We're all thawing out over here. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We do
For
appreciate
real.
it. Enjoy the Chamber. It looks to be a great card. And just enjoy it. I'm actually going to be able to barbecue tomorrow. I never thought I would have said that. Thank you, everybody. And as always, here's the big faces. Remember, pro wrestling is real.
people are
Fake.
fake. Yeah. Water bottle.